Good morning. Well, we meet again and we discuss what's important to us. Way back, Stephen Harper government had thought of buying F-35s to replace our aging Air Force aircraft. And there was a lot of noise about that. They were too costly, they were deemed to be too costly, notwithstanding the fact that they were state of art and futuristic in vision. Anyway, every political party has a right to its own opinion. But unfortunately, when the actions belie the thoughts and the words, and when the actions taken have a hidden agenda, then it's a matter of concern. The decision of the present Liberal government in buying Super Hornets is fraught with danger. And this issue also raises an allied issue of transparency. Let's take both issues. First is the buying. Is it proper? As per all the experts and even the Air Force officials, these are not proper aircraft for the Canadian Air Force. And the reason is very simple. They are based on a technology that is outmoded, and the US Navy has decided that by 2030 they'll be throwing them in the dust bin. And we are paying billions of dollars to buy those aircrafts. Those aircrafts which are going to be consigned to the garbage heap. And we'll be getting those aircraft sometime in 2025. So just for using an obsolete aircraft for 5 years, and by that time F-35 would already be operational and US Navy would be going in for that, we are spending billions of the taxpayers' money. Now comes the second part, and that is second part of the purchase, not of the muzzling. That is that the present aircraft and F-35 had a certain synergy. The Super Hornets and C-18 have nothing in common. The avionics system are absolutely different. Now, when you induct new aircrafts into a force, then that means you have got to upgrade everything. Not only the services, not only the maintenance, but the complete operational details have to be reworked. The SOP has got to be rechanged. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. So by the time the old aircraft are phased out and the new aircraft are fully operational, we will have a diarchy, two systems of avionics. Now in any force, such a duplication is extremely harmful, simply for the reason that in times of need, you might not find an expert at that base. So either you have to duplicate the maintenance people, or you have got to ensure that your aircraft is only at one place and not at the other. So the mobility of the aircraft and the mobility of the personnel both suffers. I'm amazed that the Air Force Chief said very clearly that F-18 are capable of continuing in service. C-18 of continuing capable in service till 2025. So what's the big hurry in buying it? We have already spent $35 billion, and we are going to spend much more in buying these aircraft, Super Hornets, which are a different technology, which is an outdated technology, which is marked by obsolescence, and waste that money. Not only that, we are going to cripple the capability of the Air Force by bringing in a new technology that is out of sync with what our people, our air mechanics, the maintenance people, the flight people have been trained with. It will be a process of starting from zero. I don't mind relearning. Relearning is a part of growth. But this is not relearning, because you are going to relearn something which you have got to forget after 5 years. And F-35 are going to be inducted from 2025 onwards. Now look at the vision. One government had a vision to have a futuristic technology which will possibly be useful for the next half a century or a quarter of a century. And the other government buying a technology which is already outmoded. This is something which doesn't gel. This is something which shows that not enough homework has been done. And it is only impetuous decision based not on facts. Impetuous decisions are good, provided they are born of altruistic measures, selfless measures, with a will to serve the country and to protect the country. When incomprehensible actions are taken against the wishes of the people who are going to use them, against the technological advice, against the experts' advice, then there is something wrong somewhere. There is an assurance that US Navy has clearly said that Super Hornets are on the way out and 2030 is the deadline for them. We are buying them and going to use them even though they don't suit us because of the different avionics systems. Another point which is very important is that our complete northern border is protected under an agreement with USA called NORAD. NORAD is going to use F-35. You are using C-18 present, which have a synergy with F-35. But when you start using Super Hornets, there will be no synergy left. Now, this shows one thing, that the decision has not been taken with care and there has been no consultation. And as a matter of fact, if the consultation was there, there have been a number of objections, sustainable objections, plausible objections. And then we come to the second part of the same issue. For the first time in the history of the country, or rather the world if you want to see it, I'm not talking of the communist countries, I'm not talking of the dictatorships, I'm not talking of the totalitarian regimes, I'm talking of the democratic countries, where transparency is important. I agree that state secrets should not be revealed. And normally it is said 25 years, some countries have the limit, time limit for revealing the secrets, and other countries have 50 years. But nothing beyond that. For the first time in the history, federal government forced 235 officials connected with the purchase of Super Hornets to sign an agreement that they will not reveal the discussions or their pleas or that reveal the documents for their life. This lifetime secrecy agreement is, as I said, an epoch-making agreement which bespeaks of a totalitarian regime rather than a democratically elected government. It's making the civil servants serfs and slaves for the lifetime. Now, why should a government want to hide? This is a billion-dollar question. What is there to hide? The facts are known that this is an obsolete technology. The facts are known that US Navy is phasing them out already. And 2030 is the D-Day. And we are getting them by 2025. So what was the big hurry to buy it? And second, why this muzzling? This incidentally shows another thing. And that's the danger of the country's whole political system getting vitiated. For the first time in the history, Prime Minister of Canada had praised the Chinese for their strict discipline and suppression of human rights. He was envious of them. Maybe he is trying to use them. Use the same methods. His statement 3 days back, praising Castro, has raised a storm throughout the whole free world. People are aghast that the democratic Canada, which swears by human rights and democracy, could praise, eulogize a leader who was known for his iron fist. And this muzzling of the civil servants, is that not a symptom of the totalitarian streak in the psyche of the Prime Minister? I don't know. But as I say, this is a symbol of the coming event, the shadow of the coming event. It's a symbol of the dictatorial ideology which permeates the smiling face. You know, he's a nice young man, smiling. But when he smiles, I'm reminded of Hamlet, when he said, one may smile and yet be a villain. I'm sure Justin Trudeau is no villain. I have every hope that he's as dedicated to the country as anybody else is. But the actions belie the hope, the thought. We need a proper evaluation of the hardware as well as of the software of the aircraft that we are going to use to protect our country. We need a technology that is not obsolete but is futuristic. We need value for every dollar spent. We need an assurance that our country's interests are safe. We need transparency in action, and we need a synchronization in thought and action. This anomalous situation which has arisen because of the brute majority of the liberals in the parliament doesn't hold a very rosy picture for the future. The Super Hornets are a glaring example how wrong actions can be taken that can lead to a disaster for the country. Would the Hornets come to bite us? Yes. Economically, they are harmful. Technologically, they are a drawback. Financially, they are going to be a burden. It's not only the billions of dollars that will be spent on buying them, but because they are a garbage product. 2030, they'll be garbage. And when the Air Force officers say, don't buy it because till 2025 we are safe with C-18. And then if you have to buy F-35. That was the decision of the former government. You see, if you agree with the previous government because of the political issues, that's your right. But to discard a decision simply because the previous government had taken it up is a sign of petulance and petty-minded approach. I hope the government will reconsider. And incidentally, before I close down today, I must inform you that the live comments given here have a significance. We remember earlier that in one of the comments was conveyed to President Putin, and he had taken action. And my comment on TPP was taken up by Mr. Monji, Honorable Ambassador of Japan in Canada. And yesterday, he made a statement that he would appreciate a direct trade deal with Canada, and Canada should have it because Japan is the third largest economy in the world today. And that's what I had proposed, bilateral relationship. So that is just to inform you that the ideas given here are relevant. Coming back to the original situation, I trust that Super Hornets would remain a pipe dream, not be implemented, and the sale shall not be carried out. This is in the interest of the nation, in the interest of our protection, and for being technologically capable to face any threat to our sovereignty and our freedom.